Hi guys, it's Sam and welcome back to the UK Mortgage Centre YouTube channel. Or if you're new here, how's it going? So today's video is going to reveal what costs you might need to consider along the home buying process. Now that I've got your attention, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? It's free and that way you're not going to miss any uploads. We're here for you on Mondays, or should I say most Mondays if I remember. So let's get straight into today's video and let's start breaking down the costs of buying your home. If I'm being honest, no one really knows the true cost of buying a house because it's all relative. And if we're to include every purchase you make for your home, we'll be here for years, counting every vase, bed sheet, kettle, tin of paint, curtain that you buy, the list can go on. So it's never ending when you buy a house. But for the purpose of not wasting your time, I'm going to solely focus on the cost of the actual purchase, not the decorating and renovation costs for your own causes, but we're just going to be breaking down the basics for you. So these costs we're going to be breaking down include legal fees, searches and surveys, moving costs, leasehold charges, insurance, council tax, and general bills to account for. The first cost we're going to break down is legal fees. Now, when you buy a home, you need to instruct a solicitor or a conveyancer to help with all the legal work. And 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, you're going to need to pay for that work. Now, a conveyancer will go through the legal process to transfer the property ownership from one person to another, which can be a lot of work. Now, legal fees typically range from around £800 to about £1,500 and depends on the property value as well. The next thing you have is searches. So your solicitor will instruct the searches on your behalf, but you will need to pay the additional cost for them to be done. And usually it's a couple of £100. We do have a video breaking down the different types of searches you'll get carried out and exactly what you need to do, then make sure you go and check out that video once you've finished watching this one. So in legal fees and searches, you're probably going to be sat somewhere around £1,000 to £1,800 on average. And it's also worth noting here that the more expensive the property, the higher the legal fee tends to be. Now, speaking of searches, you also have its BFF to account for, surveys. There's 3 types. You've got basic home valuation, full structure, and a home buyer's report. As you can imagine, both come, or all 3 come with different costs. The basic home valuation typically costs around £200 to £300 on average. Full structural survey could be £600 to £1,000, and a home buyer's is a little bit cheaper on that one again, but that gives you a good guide as to where it's going to be. Now, your surveys uncover any potential problems within the future home. Paying for a good survey can save a pretty decent amount of money in the long term on repairs and damages that could have been avoided. So choose the survey carefully and speak to professionals, family and friends when you're choosing what to do. And the age of the property might steer you down a different way. Now, as a first-time buyer, the next one can sometimes change around, so double check with your solicitor to see if it applies, but this one is called Stamp Duty Land Tax, or SDLT. It's a tax paid for the purchase of land. For first-time buyers, there's usually quite a few concessions in place over the last couple of years, meaning that if you buy for the first time, you might not actually have to pay any stamp duty. But if you are going to go and wallop a load of money into a new house and it's 500-600 grand, then you might have to consider there is a little bit of stamp duty to pay. So now we have our actual moving costs. By this, I mean all the things like hiring a van to move all your belongings from your rented space or your parents. Now, van rentals range dramatically from anything from like 50 quid for a few hours or a couple of £100 if you need it over a weekend. So make sure you shop around and get the right size van for you. In fact, I'd shop around on all these costs mentioned because there's always little deals that you can find online. But yeah, you'll need to buy boxes and like that when you move, so add those little costs up and you're going to need meters upon meters of bubble wrap. Another charge you need to consider in the budget only applies if you're buying a leasehold property. Should have probably mentioned this earlier on. And if it is, you'll need to pay essentially a landlord for the ground your house is built on. Typically, this cost is paid annually and your solicitor will let you know what these figures are. It feels like this video is just me telling you how broke you will feel. But look, it's all for educational purposes, so don't panic. We've all had to do it and we're all fine, I think, just a little bit. Now, moving on to the final 2 charges that we'll be discussing, council tax. Now, this is an amount of money you'll pay to your local council. I'll leave a link on the screen now to a website you can check how much tax you need to pay for on the property. It's all banded from A to whatever it is this day and age, and I'll tell you exactly how much that is going to be each year. And the final cost is buildings insurance. Now, this is a bit of a promo because a founder of a mortgage and protection business, I'm obviously going to say to get your insurance needs solved by us, but whoever you choose to deal with your insurance, you do need to make sure that your home, yourself, and your loved ones are completely protected in case the most unthinkable things were to happen and you can't afford your mortgage repayments, so your home essentially would go to rack and ruin. So we need to make sure that all your things are covered in the house. Anything happens, it's all sound, it's all covered. Now, buying your first home involves more than just a purchase price. The true cost encompasses various expenses that can significantly impact the budget. So by understanding and accounting for these costs, you can make an informed decision and embark on your home ownership journey with confidence. We've seen it far too often where someone's bought a nice big house and not realized and gone, shit, this is actually really expensive. So make sure you've got the heads up. So remember to conduct thorough research, seek professional advice where needed, and carefully plan your finances to make the process smoother and much more rewarding for you guys, and above anything else, enjoyable. And if you've enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up by clicking the little icon down below as always. And if you have any questions on anything that I've mentioned in today's video, then please drop us a comment below and me or Emma will get back to you straight away. Or you can give the team a call. It's 01925 573 328. You should get it tattooed on your forearm just in case. And also linked below is a free first-time buyer brochure which goes into much more detail on everything mentioned in the video. So the link in the description if you want to go and check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully be back on Monday.